All right, everyone, welcome to the live, guys. Good afternoon and welcome to Rome Knows Tech. I'm your host, Rome Wilkerson. Guys, I'm coming to you from the city of Houston, down here in the hot state of Texas. Guys, we got a lot to get to this afternoon. We have some new updates for our favorite streaming devices. That is the Yolo boxes. We have the YoloBox Mini as well as the YoloBox Pro here in the studio. There is a new update, guys, for the YoloBox Mini that puts it very much on par with the YoloBox Pro. I will be doing the update live. I'm going to walk you guys right through it, show you everything to expect, all the new features. I'll probably plug a camera or two into it as well so we can see exactly what it's going to look like from my perspective as well as for yours. So yeah, we got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of here. Let me just make sure everything is already set up. You guys already know many times I have to go through here and test a few things, so I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so we're gonna see if our pop-up is working. Now, during the demonstration, guys, I'm gonna let you guys know in advance when we're doing the install for the new firmware. I will switch over to my clean scene, so that way I will have access to be able to use that later on, maybe for a shoppable video or some other content. Maybe I wanna post somewhere else on these interwebs, so you guys know how it goes. All right, so let's get to the first device so we can kind of get started with this afternoon stream. Let's do this thing, y'all. All right, guys, what we're looking at right here, this is the YoloBox Pro. Now, there are three different versions of this tablet, guys. You can get the YoloBox Pro, you can get the YoloBox Mini, and you can also get the original YoloBox. It's been around for a couple of years now. Now, this is kind of my go-to device when I want to stream out on location. With this one, I can connect multiple cameras to it. I can connect up to 3 HDMI cameras, 1 USB camera. I also have the ability to plug in Ethernet. I have HDMI out from this device. I have USB-C out. I can plug in microphones, line level microphones, and I can also install an SD card to record onto, because don't forget, guys, not only is this an encoder, a tablet, it is also a recorder. So I use this quite often for a lot of my shoppable videos. When I'm just being lazy and I just want to do something really quick, I'll just connect a camera or two to this, some wireless microphones, set up something here on my desk, and then I'll just pop in here and just talk about it, guys. So this is the YoloBox Pro. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on because I want you guys to see some of the features that it has. So when we see those features added to the YoloBox Mini, let me grab it real quick so you guys can see it. This is the YoloBox Mini. This is the smaller version. Now, this one has always been designed to just work with one camera. I'm telling you guys, there's some new updates. It's going to take this thing to the next level. We're going to talk about those here in a second. But while this one is already powering on, I'm going to go ahead and power this one on as well. So we're kind of on the same page with both of these devices. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a clean scene, and we're just gonna kind of go from there. Jalissa Queen is in the house. Welcome, sis. Welcome, sis. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're gonna be doing an update this afternoon for the YoloBox Mini, talking a little bit about the YoloBox Pro. But for now, I'm gonna switch over to my clean scene. So like I said before, guys, I'll be able to use this content a little bit later, maybe for, you know, something else that I wanna post on one of the other social media platforms, as well as probably here on Amazon. I see my man Tommy's in the house as well. Welcome, Tommy. Welcome to the stream. All right, guys, so this is what we're gonna be doing this afternoon. There is a new update for the YoloBox Mini. I'm going to be doing that update live. Actually, I just turned the YoloBox Mini on. Let me show you guys. I literally just turned it on, and you guys can see here that there is an update available for it, and it lists all of the new features. I'm going to outline all of these new features to you. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that here on this from this camera's angle. It may be a little bit overexposed, but these are the new updates for the YoloBox Mini. Now, I'm going to show this to you in comparison to what you can already do with the YoloBox Pro, okay? So right now, I'm just going to create a duplicate scene. I'm just going to tap here. I'm just going to give it just, you know, any random name. So let's just, you know, give it that. Now, of course, with this device, guys, you can also add a description. You can also add your date and time. For this demonstration, I'm just going to go with the basics. I'm just going to hit create, and then you guys will see that now we have a live stream that is ready to go. Now, I don't have a camera connected to this right now, so let me go ahead and do that just so we're all on the same page. I'm going to be using the Osbot PTZ camera, this little camera here. I'm just going to plug a USB cable into this from the back. And I'm going to just plug in the USB on the YoloBox, right? Just like that. Boom, there we go. Okay, so now this thing is ready. You're probably going to see the camera's going to automatically turn on. So we're just going to kind of roll with this. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything down here in the comments. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Rising Siren says hello. My man Richard's in the house. All right, guys, so we're going to just roll through this. Now, for those of you who just may have just popped in, we're going to be doing a firmware update for the YoloBox Mini, and it's going to bring it on par with the YoloBox Pro. A lot of the same features. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have asked me about, over time when I was demonstrating the YoloBoxes is the fact that the YoloBox seems to have all of the features. The Pro has all of the big features, and then the other units, are kind of lacking when it comes to that. YOLO Live is constantly updating the firmware and the feature sets of these devices, guys. So you can always look forward to new features being added over time. Now, of course, when you do purchase a device, you purchase a device for the features that it already has and not what it may get in the future, okay? Now, where these two devices are very similar is that both of them do share the same processor. Now, hardware integration is different because it's a much larger unit, but you guys get the idea, right? So with the YoloBox Pro, we do have the ability to, do graphical overlays. We can stream up to multiple platforms, up to 3 platforms using the YOLO Live server. Or if you guys want to subscribe to YoloCast, you can stream up to 15 destinations at a time. We can also bring in guests. So we're able to bring in guests by just tapping here and adding an email address, sending the email out to your guest. They'll be able to respond to that and then come back in, and they'll come in as a video source. Of course, you have audio controls here. That's going to be for anything that you plug into the device. That's whether it's a microphone or a camera or multiple cameras. It's just, the thing is just amazing, guys. It's amazing. Now, you can also do your scoreboards. Now, that's going to be for my sports people out there. You can take this little scoreboard and you kind of move it anywhere you want to on the screen. Of course, you can enlarge the size of it. You can do real-time updates with the scoreboard. I'm going to turn this camera around so you guys can kind of see a little bit more of me here. So you can see that I am using the Osbot camera. That's what you're seeing right here on the screen. So that's our scoreboard. We're not going to go too deep into that because we do want to get to the update, but I want you guys to see all the features that the Pro has. So when you start to see these features that are now going to be added to the Mini, it's just going to make a lot more sense. You can also bring in comments from different social media platforms. Currently, to my knowledge, that's going to be YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. If you're streaming to all of those different platforms at the same time, your comments will show up here. You'll be able to just tap on them, display them on the screen whenever you like. You also have the ability to do auto switching, where you can go in and designate different sources. You can choose multiple sources. Then you can also set a duration of how long the source is going to be on the stream. You can also determine if you want it to be sequential or random. All these things are built in. And of course, you can also choose your main video source. And then another really important feature for a lot of my streamers out there, guys, is the ability to utilize the USB-C out on the Pro, because that means you can connect this to your computer and use it like a traditional switching deck without even having to stream from it. Now, if you wanted to stream from this device, that is what it's designed for. You can use Ethernet, you can use a SIM card, or you can use Wi-Fi to stream from this device, okay? So that's just kind of a quick rundown on the YoloBox Pro and some of its features. As I did mention before, with the Pro, you can connect up to 3 HDMI cameras to this, 1 USB camera, Ethernet, HDMI out, USB-C out. You also can plug in your line level or mic level audio, and you also have your USB here for powering the device. So that's what the top of the device looks like. Underneath it, you would just plug in or install an SD card, and you can also install your SIM card. Now, before we get confused, the cage that you see here that the YoloBox is inside of does not come with the YoloBox, nor does this camera. For your $12.98, you're only purchasing the tablet itself, but all of these other accessories, guys, you can find them right here on Amazon, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to push the YoloBox Pro off to the side, and we're going to get right to the YoloBox Mini. All right, guys, so here is the YoloBox Mini. And as you guys can see right now, I have an update that's about to start. Now, these updates take a few minutes for them to download and install. My Wi-Fi here is pretty quick, but it should still take a few minutes. But even while that's happening, we'll talk about some other things. But I want you guys to see how easy this is. Now, I do want to tell you about some of the features that this update is supposed to cover. So just like the Pro, now you will also have the ability to switch between HDMI and USB. You will also have the ability to bring in up to 2 videos from your SD card, as well as PDFs. You'll be able to invite guests. You will have multi-views. That means you can do picture-in-picture, side-by-side, split view news layout in a triple. You also have the ability to bring in web overlays, auto switching. You also have audio mixer. You have a Chroma Key now. So that means that's a feature that was exclusive to the YoloBox Pro, but now you'll be able to use your green screens or your blue screens with this device, and also key out. You're going to have your fade to black. You're going to also have your auto hide for graphics, background music for your countdown timers. You also have additional shapes that have been added to the picture-in-picture. So now you can do a diamond or, you know, other shapes. We'll look at those as well. You also have the ability to swap the multi-view. One click, it's just one little tab. You can swap the videos back and forth. And you also have the ability now that Twitch comments are now supported. Now, of course, there's a little bit more verbiage about YoloCast. We won't really get into that this afternoon. I'll talk about that a little bit more tonight on tonight's stream. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and start this installation. So you see right here, guys, all I have to do is hit on install. It's going to start to download the install firmware. It's usually not a very large file. It doesn't take super long for this to happen. So we're just going to give it a few minutes for it to go ahead and download. And in the process, we'll talk about some of the ways that I have used the YoloBoxes. Now, as I said before, I've used the YoloBox to stream. I streamed with this device during Prime Day. I've streamed with it multiple times here on Amazon and on Facebook, and also on YouTube. The Mini, I use it more as a one camera type of scenario where I'm only going to be connecting one camera to this device, streaming. A lot of times in the morning when I just want to, you know, go downstairs and I'm sitting in front of my coffee table, maybe I want to stream out to, you know, my viewers on Facebook or one other platform, and I only need one camera. This is the device I would normally choose. Okay. Now the YoloBox Pro does have a couple of options when it comes to cages. There are not many cages as of yet for the Mini, but they are in the works. They will be coming pretty soon. And the cages do allow you to add additional accessories around the YoloBox. You know, for instance, like it'll have, most of these cages will have quarter 20s. They will also have some type of jerk stoppers to prevent the cables from being pulled out accidentally. So right now we're in the stage where it's installing the firmware. So we're at 7% of the firmware installation. Now, guys, of course, like I say many times here on these streams, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop those down in the comment, and I will do my best to answer those. Let me zoom out a little bit and reframe this so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So again, you can still see the YoloBox Pro back in the background. This is the Mini. Easily, you can see there is a huge difference in the size. But now with this new firmware update, I think it's going to bring them more in line with each other when it comes to performance and features. So that's the most important things that we want to look at today is, you know, the new features, the new layouts, the new graphic controls and things like that. Like I said, for a lot of people starting out, this could be the perfect device for them. Now, if I'm reading everything right, we should now be able to switch between 2 different video sources. So what that means is I should be able to plug in an HDMI camera and 1 USB camera. I don't know that yet. We're going to test it. But if that works, that's going to take this to a whole another level, guys. That means we can connect 2 cameras to this device opposed to on launch when you can only connect 1 camera to it. So that means you could have 1 HDMI camera connected to this and 1 USB camera connected to this as well, and also have HDMI out. Now, when we get to the point where the firmware is installed, I am going to connect this to my current switcher. I'm going to plug in this HDMI cable, so you guys are going to be able to see in real time what I see here on the screen. It's going to display for you in larger format here on Amazon, since that's what we're looking at today. Now, if you are watching this video late, guys, or you're watching this after the live stream, of course, I do want you guys to come over, and hang out with us on Amazon. I'm live on Amazon 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, noon and 7 p.m. And then on the weekends, I go live again at 7 p.m. So come on through, guys, and hang out with us. I see my man Jeffy's in the house. Of course, Richard is here just laying it down like he do. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the YoloBox Mini here in the carousel, guys. Now, the Mini is $699. The Pro is $1298. Now, if I did not make this clear earlier, both of these devices, guys, were sent to me by YOLO Live, but of course, my opinions, my reviews are all my own. So, guys, I always keep it honest with you. If I have any issues with any device, I don't care what it is, I'm going to reveal that to you guys. And if there's a fix for it, if there's something that, needs to be, updated, or something that, the brand needs to address, I will let you guys know in real time. Now, we're almost at that point. We're almost, we're at 92% on this firmware update. So like I said, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Now, I have a lot of other things in the carousel we're definitely going to be talking about tonight, as well as the new merch. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over here real quick. All right, guys, you probably see right now, I am wearing some new merch. You can see the Rome Knows Tech shirt right back here behind me. I do have a number of items listed down in the carousel. If you guys want to just take a peek, you can find the Rome Knows Tech shirt. You can find the Mr. Mod shirt. You can find the Nietzsche Nation shirt as well. We also have a shirt from my man, Alan Dupree. Let me switch back over here so you guys can see when this does turn back on. All right, so all of those merch items are down in the carousel if you guys want to take a look at them. But that is just a very small sampling of the merch that's available. If you guys want to see the full category of merch, go over to ChristinaNietzsche.shop or go to my shop. You can see a big selection of it as well. That's at RomeKnowsTech.live. Either of those two links will take you to either of our storefronts where you guys can kind of peruse and take a look at some of the items like the pillows, the shopping bags that we've created for you. Now, all of the merch, guys, is being hosted on Christina Nietzsche's merch account. Now, you're going to find other live streamers that she's done merch for, including myself. There's stuff there for Free to Family. There's a really nice shirt of Frenchie. Like, again, I said, Alan, is here as well. Then we also have things for Mr. Mod, Christina Nietzsche, and there's others coming on board here pretty soon. So you guys are going to see a lot of new merch popping up here on Amazon really soon. All right, guys, so let's get back to this YOLO box. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, as you can see now, our update has been done. So I'm going to first just open the app itself so you guys can see what it looks like. So I've already set up a live stream. But as you notice, there's no camera currently connected to this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the camera that is right now connected to the YoloBox Pro, and I'm going to plug it here into the YoloBox Mini. Just that simple. Check it out. All right, now the Ozbot PTZ camera is now connected to the YoloBox Mini. And we're just waiting for it to acknowledge it and then switch over. Now you guys see the video is now here. That's the same video that was on the Pro just a few minutes ago. All right, so now we can look at some of the features. Now, of course, because this is a much smaller tablet, you're not going to see the type of overlays, controls similar to on such a larger tablet, but they are still here and they are still very functional, right? So if I tap here on overlays, now we can go here and we can see this is where our overlays would live. But like I said, guys, I want you guys to see this in real time. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to connect this HDMI cable to the YOLO box. And that should go over to my switcher here in just a second. Let me give a second for my switcher to see it. Let me make sure I have HDMI going out. So we want program to go out. No, actually we don't. We want it just to be. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I got this connected right. Okay, the HDMI cable is connected to my switcher. And I may have to restart this. Let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, because it doesn't see it yet. So I'm going to restart it just so that the HDMI is going out and you guys are going to be able to see what I'm seeing here on the screen. Okay, so we're going to power this off and then I'm going to turn it back on. So hopefully that will work. If not, then I'll just zoom in really tight on the screen and you guys will be able to see it that way. Okay, so now we're going to turn this back on, give it a chance to boot up. All right, we're just going to press and hold the power button and it should turn back on. And then once it does, I'm just checking now to see if my switcher currently sees it. And I'm not seeing it on the switcher yet, so let's give it a second. Okay, for some reason, it's not going to my switcher, so I don't know what's causing that. Because I know it definitely does. I'm able to do that with the Pro all the time. Not a big deal, not a big deal. We can just do it from here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to zoom in really tight so you guys can kind of see what's going on here, right? So we're going to just zoom in right about here. Let me just frame this a little bit better. You guys can see that I do have multiple, devices plugged into this. Well, if the HDMI is not going to be seen, then there's probably no need for it to be connected. So I'm just going to go ahead and unplug that. And we're not going to worry about that for now, but you guys can see the screen pretty well, I'm assuming here. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap on the live stream. Now the camera, you can see there's Rome right there. So we're going to go over here to our overlays and take a look at some of the new features that are added to this device. Now remember guys, as I mentioned before, not only is this an encoder for streaming, it is also a recorder. You can obviously go in here and you can set your output rate, resolution, 1080p, 720 or 480. You do have that option. You have to do it before going live, but you do have it. And this little icon right here is for recording. So if you did want to record directly into this device onto the SD card, you would just tap on that. And if you want to go live, you're going to tap on your go live button. Now you have to click on both of them because just by going live, it does not automatically start to record. You would have to enable the recording on your own. All right, so let's go through some of the icons that we have down here. Now you can see we can scroll back and forth. So let's go ahead and tap on our overlays. So right now, if I wanted to use one of these overlays, I could just tap on it. And you guys see right now, we have this little lower third that just popped up here where it says Rome Knows Tech. And then if I want to turn that off, I can just go back and tap on it. But let's take a look at where all of these come from, very similarly to what we have seen in the past with the YoloBox Pro. Okay, so you guys see now we have image overlay, we have lower thirds, we have countdown timer, we have web URL overlays, we have titles, and we have social media. So if we start here with image overlays, we just tap on image overlay. Now there's, oh, I forgot to put an SD card in here. Let me put an SD card in here so that it will see it. So let me just pop this SD card in. You guys see how easy that is. I'm just going to pop the SD card in and it should automatically recognize the SD card. So now I can go here and let's say I want to choose a graphic. I could choose that, hit done. And now you see the graphic is here. I can scale this up if I choose to. I can make it larger or smaller. I can also set it to auto hide. So that means now I can tap on this. Now these are all features that are normally associated with the YoloBox Pro. But now we have these features finally for the YoloBox Mini. So right now our duration is set to 10 seconds. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit done. Now, if I want to turn that on, so if I tap on that graphic, you guys see here, the graphic is now displaying on the screen. It's going to be here for 10 seconds, and then it's just going to dissolve away. So there we go. Boom, just like that. Easy peasy, guys. So these are some of the built-in features. The next thing is going to be our lower thirds. You have a bunch of different lower thirds. You can go in here and customize these. You can easily adjust these lower thirds. You can adjust the font, the colors. We even have like a lower third with a scrolling text that's built into the device as well. So all of these features are built right into the device, guys. So you don't need a computer. You don't need anything else other than your YoloBox, your camera, and possibly your microphone. Now you have your countdown timers. You have two options here. You have your traditional, be back timer, and then you have your starting soon timer. Both of them basically work the same. If you tap on them, you can change what the text says here. Like it says now, be back soon. or no, be right back. You can change that right here. You can now also add music. So if you did have audio files saved onto your SD card, you could play those while your countdown timer is going. You can also go in here and you can adjust the dim to the background. So if you want it to be completely blacked out, or maybe you just want it to be just slightly here, you can also adjust the scale now. That means you can make the countdown timer whatever size you want to, and you can move it around the screen wherever you want. So yeah, that's another built-in feature that now if you want that, you just tap on it and boom, there's your countdown timer. So our countdown timer would start. Let's say you wanted to do something like this, you know, before your stream would start, that's what your viewers are going to see. And then again, if you just want to tap here, you can easily turn it off if you needed to. Let's go back and look at the other three options. We have web overlay. So with web overlay, you're just going to type in a URL, and then that URL will call up a graphic, a video, a website, or whatever the case is going to be. Let's just do something really quick here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to type in, I don't know, let's try Amazon. Let's see what that looks like. Amazon. So Amazon.com. Like that, and done. So now we have Amazon.com. I'm gonna hit done. Now I have a screensaver on this, so we can move this around. You guys see that? We can also adjust the width. We could adjust the height. So if we wanted to adjust that even more. Now remember, this is not going to be an active website. You're not going to have all of the flexibilities that you would have if this was a web browser. I can also enable my auto hide. So I'm going to set that to, let's just do 5 seconds this time so it won't take so long. So let's just bring that down to say 5 seconds like that, hit done. And then there we go. Now when I tap on my website, I'm like, boom, there's my website. This is what I want to talk about. So then you guys can then see the website, and then it'll be gone in I set it for 5 seconds. So let's do it again. So there's the website, it's there. It's going to disappear in 5 seconds. Just that easy, guys. So going back, we do have titles. So you got 4 basic titles. You can go in and customize these as well. Now, all of these, like I said before, these are mostly features that were only on the Pro, now available to us on the Mini. And you now have 5 different types of social media overlays. You know, in any one of these, they're going to be basically the same. You can go in and tap on these. You can change the logo. So if you want to go from Instagram to LinkedIn to YouTube to Twitch, Twitter, I'm sorry, to Facebook, whichever the case it will be, and even a custom. So if you have a custom logo, maybe say, for instance, it would be something for YOLO Live or for Amazon or whatever the case it would be, you could just choose your logo just like that, hit done. And now, if you notice, now here is our little overlay. Of course, I can also go in and change the name, the handle here, and I can also change the size of this. So I can scale this down. I can move it around the screen pretty much wherever I want to put it. And then I can also set my auto hide. Let's say we're going to do that for this time. I don't know, 5 seconds again. Let's do 5 seconds. And nope, I didn't change it. Let's go back. Let's go 5 seconds. Hit done, done. And now when I tap on that overlay, it's just going to show up here on the screen as you guys see it right here. And then in 5 seconds, it's just going to, you know, disappear. So again, amazing, amazing features built into now the Mini. And that was the last one. That was our social media overlays. All right, so let's go to our next, the next thing that we have here. Now, this is going to be your platforms. So as I said before, you can stream to multiple platforms. I have a bunch of my platforms already saved here. Now, the reason why they're on this device and on the other one is because they are sharing the same account. So if I go back on the other one, I would see exactly, if I go back here on the Pro and I tap on, as you guys see, platforms, you see we're looking at the exact same platforms because they're sharing the same account. Now, the advantage of sharing the same account is that you can also stream from one YoloBox to another YoloBox and bring it in as a video source. Now, if I want to stream to multiple platforms, let's say, for instance, I wanted to go to YouTube, to Facebook, and to Twitch, I could just choose YouTube and I want it to be public and I hit done. And then I will go to, say, maybe Facebook, or whichever the next one is. Let's say I want to go to this Facebook account and I want that also to be public, you know, or maybe I wanted to also go to one of my groups and then I could choose the group that I wanted to go to or whatever the case it would be. And then you have all of that functionality built into this, right? So let's go back. Oops, there we go. So let's choose, let's go ahead and choose, whoop, no, that's YouTube. Let's go back and choose Facebook here. And I'm going to go public and I'm just going to hit done. And then that's going to be ready. Now, I want you guys to see this message here. It says, account violation failed because of unbound. So basically what it's telling us is I need to go over to my settings and enable which one is it? Streaming mode. No, is it streaming mode? Yeah, so streaming mode. So right now I have this set to single platform. What I want to do now is change this to multi-platform, which is going to be the YOLO Live server. Now what that's going to allow me to do now is to add multiple platforms and stream to multiple platforms. So now I can go back and choose YouTube, and I can choose Facebook. Again, we're going to choose my Facebook account. And then, okay, I don't know what's going on there. Let me try this one. Facebook. Oh, I may have to reset it. So let's just pick something else. So let's just pick Instagram. Okay, so I could choose to go live on YouTube and also on Amazon if that was my choice, or maybe my other YouTube account as well. So I can go live on all of these different platforms, guys, literally at the same time, up to 3 different destinations. So right now I'm set up to go live on 3 different destinations. So I have both of my YouTube accounts and also my Amazon account. All I would have to do now is tap on this go live button, and I would literally be going live from this device. Well, of course, we don't want to do that because I am already live, but you know, I'm just going to turn these off for now so I don't accidentally go live. But I wanted you guys to see this is one of the built-in features, right? Now let's keep moving. Okay, so here is the next features. Now, if you had multiple sources set up, like right now we only have 1 camera, right? So what we want to see and test is how many sources can we add. So now I can tap here, and as you guys see, I have 2 options here. That means I can add an HDMI camera and a USB camera. I can also bring in local video from an SD card. So let's just tap on this. Let me find video. I'm just going to take the YOLO Live video here and just throw that up. Now you guys see right here, it is now a new video source. If I tap on that, that's going to play. If I go back and tap on the other one, it's going to go back to me. All right, so let's go a little bit further in. Of course, I mentioned that we can do a live stream, so that means I can live stream from one device to another, and I can also bring in PDFs. So if I have a PDF saved on here, I could choose my PDF as well. That's now going to show up here as a source. So if I want to go to the PDF, let's say we're doing some type of tutorial, and you guys notice we have our controls down here. So that means I can advance through the PDF while I'm talking about it by just tapping on these little arrows here, and it will allow me to go through the PDF, of course, right? Now, if you want to ever have to remove something, all you have to do is press and hold on it, and you're going to see the little delete button. Just go ahead and do that. All it's going to do is remove it from this menu. It's not going to remove it from the SD card. That's all you're doing there, okay? So let's see what else we can add. We can do now picture-in-picture. We can do split view. We can do side-by-side. We can do the news layout, and we can also do the triple up, right? So let's do the simplest one, the one that I use a lot, which is like my side-by-side. So I'm going to choose that as video 1, this one as video 2, and then what we're going to wind up with is a split video here on the screen. Now, I can add a background image to this. So if I did have a background, I'm just going to choose this default one, just so you guys can see you can put a background image behind it. And you can also swap the video. So like right now, I'm on one side of the screen. The video is playing on the opposite. If I hit this swap, it just swaps it to the opposite side. Now, a new feature that has been added is to help you control how much of each video you want to see. So right now I can slide this in and I can scale in a little bit, and then I can position myself. I'm just going to move this camera so that I am here kind of like a news reporter. So I'm sitting here and I'm talking about this video right here. I'm like, hey guys, check out this video. This is amazing content, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the idea, right? So you have a lot of flexibility, a lot of functions with this device. And again, this is the YoloBox Mini. Most of these features were exclusive to the YoloBox Pro. Now, when I hit done, this is going to add it as another video source. So as you see here, we have these different video sources. So right now we're looking at the USB camera. This is the video by itself. And this would be our side-by-side. If I go ahead and tap on that, that's going to be our side-by-side. So if I tap here just to have the menu go away, this is what your audience is going to see. Just, what you're seeing right here, right? All right, so let's keep rolling. So let's go back and we can turn that off. and go back to the regular video. So you guys saw the different overlays we can do. Now, another thing I want to show you guys really quickly, if I go here in any one of these sources, I can do keying, right? So if I tap on this little icon here, it looks like a little man. I'm just going to tap on that little icon. Now there's my keyer. If you guys can see behind me in this video, let me zoom in a little bit more. You guys can see there's a green screen behind me. When I turn this keyer on, notice that the green screen just disappeared, right? That means now, finally, we can do green screening with the YoloBox Mini, which is just amazing. Again, that was a feature exclusive to the YoloBox Pro. Now I'm just going to turn it off, but I did want you guys to see that that is a feature built into it. All right, so what do we got next? So on our audio side of things, anything that's connected to the device, guys, that has audio, you will have access to it here. That means you can, allow it to switch from different camera or video sources. If you have audio follows video, that might work if you have a video that does have audio on it, and when it switches to that audio, you want the people to be able to hear the video, you have that option. But in most cases, when I'm doing a setup, I turn off audio follows video, and I just leave on the microphone that I want to be my primary microphone. Now, when we're going to come back to this at a point, but when you're bringing in guests, they will also show up under here as a audio source, okay? And that's actually this next feature. No, actually the next feature is going to be our scoreboard. So I mentioned that before. You do have access to creating a scoreboard. You can kind of put it anywhere you want to on the screen, just like you could with the Pro. You can go in and add, real-time scores to your teams. You can also go in and add logos. You can change the fonts, the color, all of this stuff, right? All of this, again, guys, is built into this device, right? So, I could just, tap there, and now that's ready to go, or I can go back in and turn it off because we don't really need a scoreboard right now. But for those who are into sports, this is going to be an amazing feature, all right? Next feature is the ability to bring in live guests. So that means you can tap here, and you can bring in up to, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests you can bring in here. You would just enter their email address, send them an email. All they have to do is respond to that email, click on the link, enable their camera, enable their microphone, and then they will then show up down here as a video source. So you'll see them down here as a guest, and you can then go in if you wanted to and create like a picture-in-picture or something like that with you and that person talking, no problem, right? Next feature is going to be your comments. Just like on the Pro, your comments are going to show up here, and you are going to be able to also tap on those comments and show them on the live stream anytime you want to. You also have the ability to do auto switching. That means if you do have multiple things connected. So right now you see we have 3 video sources, right? We have the USB video, we have the local video, and we have the side-by-side that I created. So we're just going to hit done. And then what I can do now is I can go in here and I can adjust the duration, the time that they're going to be live on the stream, right? I have loop already turned on. I can also go down here and choose if I want this to be random or sequential. So we're just going to hit random and next. And then we can also choose what is going to be our main video source. Our main video source is going to be our USB camera. Hit done. And then at that point, all we have to do, guys, is come up here and turn this on. And then it's going to automatically start counting down. Every 10 seconds, the video is going to switch to something else. So like while I'm sitting here talking, after 10 seconds, if I enabled it, it should automatically switch. Let me make sure that I did turn it on. Did I turn it on? Yep, it is on. Okay, so you guys can see it is switching now. So now it's just going to start going through, and it's going to start switching every 10 seconds. So it'll go from this side-by-side video to the main video, and then it'll eventually go to the save video that's on the SD card. So like I said, again, you're getting a lot of the YoloBox Pro-like features on the YoloBox Mini. All right. Let's keep rolling. So let's go back in here and turn this off. Let's go into our settings. Now we do have the option of doing the same thing I mentioned before with the YoloBox Pro. We can do USB-C out, and we can use that to our USB out. We could use that if we wanted to connect this to a computer and use this as a switcher. And you also have the option of program out. Your transitions and things like that, you are going to find them under here. Where's our video transitions? Am I missing it? So we got a record limits, our encoder, We have our streaming mode, and there's our video transitions. So we have multiple video transitions in here that we can choose from. I like this simple zoom one. I always choose that. I usually bring it all the way down where it's not so long. And then what I do is now if I want to switch between different sources, if I tap on this, you're going to see that cool little transition. You guys see that little zoom effect? So every time I switch, it just does that little zoom effect. I like that for my streams, but you guys, you do you. But all of these features, guys, are new, amazing features that have now been added to the YoloBox Mini. All right, so we have our YoloBox Mini and we have the YoloBox Pro, both here in the studio. Like I said, guys, I wanted to spend some time this afternoon, showing you guys what both of these devices can do. And, it's one of those things where you have to figure out which of them is going to be best for your type of setup. But, for a lot of people starting out where you're only going to be using 1 or 2 cameras, now the YoloBox Mini has really, really stepped up its game. This unit is $699. The YoloBox Pro is $1298. Now, of course, the YoloBox Pro is going to give you far, far more features. But for somebody who's just going to be using maybe 1 device, 1 camera or something like that, yet you still want all of the creativity and features of the Pro, here you go. There you go, guys. So that is the YoloBox Mini and the YoloBox Pro. All right, let's keep rolling. All right, so we're going to go ahead and switch back over to your boy Rome, and I'm going to go and now switch back on our normal overlays. So let me go back here. Boom, there we go. So now everything should be back to normal, including whenever you guys leave a comment, it should now start showing back up here on the screen, like Joanne just left a comment. So let me highlight that real quick. And I just want to make sure that that is working. So if you guys want to leave any comments, just so we can test to see, or I can just drop something down there. I also see Missy has popped in. Yep, there we go. So it is working. All right, guys, so I still have both of the YOLO boxes turned on. I don't know why I didn't turn them off. So I'm going to go ahead and power these off. Show you how simple it is. I'm just going to press and hold. This little dialog pops up, and then the YoloBox Mini has turned off. And then I'm going to do basically the same thing here with the YoloBox Pro. I'm just going to press and hold, and that little dialog pops up, and then I'm going to turn it off. So now both of the devices are currently powered off.